Hello children, welcome to circles part 2 of class 9. Okay, in the first part I've already given the basic concepts of a circle. Okay, in this part I'm going to give some theorems and some corollaries of the same. So the first theorem is theorem 1. The line drawn from the center to bisect a chord is perpendicular to it. Okay, the line drawn from the center of the circle to bisect the chord means to the midpoint of the chord is perpendicular to that chord. Okay, so let us draw a circle. Let O be the center, let AB be the chord, let AB be a chord. Okay, so from O we will draw a line to bisect this chord AB. Okay, let the midpoint of AB be P, means AP is equal to BP. If we join OP, it will be perpendicular to AB. This is the theorem. So, if AP is equal to BP, okay, if AP is equal to BP means OP bisecting AB, then OP is perpendicular to AB. This is theorem number 1. This can be proved using congruency. Okay, how to prove? See, given, proof is not important, still I am giving proof of first theorem only, then I will not give any proof. Simply I will give the theorems, I will explain. Okay, given, you will not be asked to prove. Okay, simply you have to use theorems. You are not going to means prove the theorems. So given AP is equal to BP, to prove OP is perpendicular to AB, proof, join OA and OB. Okay, so join OA and OB. Ready? Now see, we have got two triangles, OPA and OPB. We can prove congruency between these two triangles. In triangle OPA, and triangle OPB, okay, you can see OP is common. OP is common. OP is equal to OP, which is common. Ready? Then PA is equal to PB. PA to PB is already given. Okay. Then OA is equal to OB. Why? Because both are the radii of the same circle. Okay. So here you can write radii of the same circle. Radii double I. So the two triangles angle OPB are congruent to each other. Now let us find the order, because I have told in congruency order is very important. Okay, you don't need to look at the diagram. Okay, the trick I have given to you in congruency. OP is equal to OP. Here there is no angle, so you are bound to look at the sides. OP is OP. So which vertex is opposite to OP? A. In triangle OPA. In triangle OPB, which vertex is opposite to OP? B. So A corresponds to B. Okay. A last, B last. Ready? Next. PA is equal to PB. Which vertex is opposite to PA? O. In triangle OPB, which vertex is opposite to PB? Again O. So O corresponds to O. So O is in first position. O should be in first position. The last option is P. This is by SSS postulate. Okay. This is by SSS postulate. After that we can say angle OPA 1 2 3 1 2 3 is equal to angle OPB. How? CP corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Okay. So let these two angles be X. Ready? Now let us add these two angles. Okay. OPA plus angle OPB. Look at the figure. OPA plus angle OPB is equal to angle APB. Is equal to angle APB. These two angles are X each. What is angle APB? APB is a straight line, so angle will be 180 degree. Okay. 2x is 180 degree. X is 90 degree. Okay. So each of these two angles is 90 degree. That means OP is perpendicular to AB. Hence proved. Okay. So remember, the line drawn from the center of a circle to bisect a chord is perpendicular to it. This is theorem number 1. Next, theorem number 2. Theorem number 2 is the converse of theorem number 1. Now I will not prove, simply I will give the theorems. Theorem number 2. This is converse of theorem number 1. Okay. So in theorem number 1, bisect then perpendicular. In theorem number 2, we will have perpendicular then bisect. Okay. So the theorem is like this. The line drawn from the center of a circle perpendicular to a chord bisects it. Okay, bisect then perpendicular, perpendicular then bisect. So let us draw the circle. Let O be the center. Let AB be a chord. Okay. Now we are going to draw perpendicular from O on AB. Okay. AP will be equal to BP. If OP perpendicular to AB, then then AP will be equal to BP. Ready? So bisect then perpendicular, perpendicular then bisect. These are the two theorems. Next theorem number 3. Theorem number 3. equal chords of a circle or equal circles. This theorem is applicable in a single circle or two equal circles. You know what are equal circles, having the same radius. Okay, so equal chords of a circle or equal circles are equidistant from the center. Okay, so let us draw a circle. Okay, let O be the center. Now I will draw two equal chords. This is AB, then this is CD. These two chords are equal to each other. Okay, then the distance from the center will be same. Now distance means always perpendicular distance. Okay, so from O we have to draw perpendicular on both of the chords. Let it be M. So OM is perpendicular to AB, then ON is perpendicular to CD. These two will be same. OM will be equal to OL. Means if AB is equal to CD, means if chords are equal, then the distance from the center will be same. Means OM is equal to OM. Okay, this is theorem number 3. Next is theorem number 4. It's converse. Means if distance equal, then chord equal. Theorem number 3 states that if chords equal, then distance equal. Theorem number 4 states that if distance equal, if distance equal, then chords equal. Theorem number 4, okay, converse of theorem number 3. So it states that chords of a circle or equal circles equidistant from the center are equal. Okay, let O be the center. I will draw two chords which are equidistant from the center. Okay, so this is AB, this is AB, this is PQ. This is equal to OM is equal to OM, means distance same, then chords will also be equal. Okay, so if OM is equal to OM, then if OM is equal to OM, then AB is equal to CD. So remember the four theorems. First theorem, the line drawn from the center of a circle to bisect a chord is perpendicular to the chord. Theorem number 2, converse. The line drawn from the center of a circle perpendicular to a chord bisects it. Theorem number 3, Equal chords are equidistant. Theorem number 4, chords equidistant from the center are equal. Then theorem number 5, theorem number 5, there is only one circle. There is only one circle that passes through 3 points not in a straight line. Okay? There is only one circle that passes through 3 points not in a straight line. So let us take 3 points not in a straight line. A, B and C. You can see these 3 points A, B, C do not lie in a straight line, means they are not collinear. Okay, they are not collinear. Now we will prove that there can only be one circle that will pass through A, B and C. For this unit construction, you can do with me in your copy. You can use scale, compass, pencil, eraser, etc. Okay. I don't have compass, I am using my hands, just a rough sketch, okay, but I want you to do it fairly using compass, okay, so that you will get the result by yourself, okay. So, my target is to draw a circle passing through ABC, okay. For that I need the center, first center, then radius, then the circle, okay. So, first center, then radius, then circle. So, I have to locate the center of that circle, okay. Now that center will be equidistant from A, B and C because the circle is going to pass through ABC. So the center must be equidistant from ABC. So my target is to locate a point, let it be O, which is equidistant from A, B and C. Now how to locate that point? Join AB first, okay? Join AB first, use scale, okay? Join AB. Then draw the perpendicular bisector of AB. You know how to draw perpendicular bisector? Okay, using compass. Draw the perpendicular bisector of AB. Ready? This will be perpendicular and this will be equal to this. So this line, let it be L1. This line L1 is the perpendicular bisector of the line segment AB. Okay. Now every point on this line L1, will be equidistant from A and B. You can check it out. Okay. Let us take a point here. This triangle is given in chapter triangles. Okay. You can take any point randomly on this line L1. Suppose here I will take a point. Now measure the distance of this point from A and B, they will be same. Means if the distance of this point from A is 6.4 cm, okay, let the distance of this point from A be 6.4 cm, that its distance from B will also be again 6.4 cm. Again suppose I take this point. If the distance of this point from B is 3.9 cm, then the distance of the same point from A will also be again 3.9 cm. Okay. So this is the concept. Every point on the perpendicular bisector of a line segment is equidistant from the end points of the line segment. Remember this. Okay. Every point on the perpendicular bisector of a line segment is equidistant from the end points of the line segment. Next. Now we have two options. Either you can join BC or you can join AC. Let us join BC. Okay. Let us join BC. Okay. Now again do the same thing. Draw the perpendicular bisector of BC. My diagram is not accurate. Okay, this is line L2. Okay, so line L2 is the perpendicular bisector of the line segment BC. Again the same concept. Every point on this line L1 will be equidistant from B and C. Okay. Now these two lines L1 and L2 are intersecting at a point. Let that point be O. Let the point be O. Now this is the required point. This is the required center of the circle which I am going to draw. How? Because see, I can say OA is equal to OB. How OA is equal to OB? Because the point O lies in the line L1, which is the perpendicular bisector of AB. And by concept, every point on a perpendicular bisector is equidistant from the end points of the line segment. Okay? So for that reason, OA is equal to OB. Next, again the point O lies on L2, which is the perpendicular bisector of line segment BC. Therefore, OB will be equal to OC. Okay? OP will be equal to OC. So ultimately I get OA is equal to OB is equal to OC. So O is the required point. Now using a compass, you can do this. My diagram will not be accurate. Using a compass, taking O as the center. Okay, taking O as the center and OA or OB or OC as the radius, you can draw a circle. Now you will see that the circle is passing through all the 3 points like this, and O is the center. Okay, O is the center. You can check it out with your compass. Okay, using your compass, you will get a diagram like this. Okay, ready? So this is the theorem. So how many circles did we get? We got only one circle. So the theorem is like this. There is only one circle that passes through 3 points not in a straight line. Okay. So if you are given 3 points which are not in a straight line, be sure that there can be a circle, one circle. There can be a circle that will pass through all the 3 points. Okay. Now see again, have a deep we can extract some extra concepts from this diagram. Initially, AB was simply a line segment, BC was simply a line segment, but now after getting the circle, you can see that AB is a chord of the line segment. AB is a chord of the circle. Okay, you can see in the diagram, AB is a chord of the circle, BC is also a chord of the circle, and the perpendicular bisector of AB, which is line L1. Okay, line L1 is the perpendicular bisector of AB. It is passing through the center of the circle. Again, line L2, which is the perpendicular bisector of the line segment, means chord BC, sorry, not line segment, chord BC, is also passing through the center. So we can have one extra concept in this theorem, that is the perpendicular bisector of every chord, okay, every chord passes through the center. Okay, the perpendicular bisector of every chord passes through the center. So these are the 5 theorems. Now let us move to corollaries. Actually, corollary is like a theorem which can be derived from other theorems. Okay, corollary is a theorem which can be derived from other theorems. Just like in physics, you have fundamental quantities and derived quantities. Okay, in mathematics, the fundamental quantity is theorem and the derived quantity is corollary. Okay, so corollary number 1. Corollary 1. The line joining the midpoints of two parallel chords. Okay, the line joining the midpoints of two parallel chords passes through the center of this. Okay, remember this. Suppose we have a circle. Let O be the center. You can check it out using scale, compass. Okay, your diagram will be more accurate than mine. Let AB be a chord. Now let us draw another chord CD which is parallel to AB. The length may be equal, may not be equal, but that doesn't matter. Okay. So now I am drawing another chord CD which is parallel to AB. So AB parallel to CD. These two chords are parallel to each other and are lying on the opposite side of the center. You can see O is here, AB is here, CD is here. They lie on the opposite sides of the center. Okay. Now let us take the midpoints of the two chords. Suppose this is M midpoint, this is N, which is the midpoint of CD. Okay, N is the midpoint of AB, N is the midpoint of CD. If you join MN, okay, if you join MN, you will see that it is passing through the center. You can check it out using compass, scale, pencil. Okay. So remember the line joining the midpoints of two parallel chords always passes through the center. Now this is the case when the two parallel chords lie on the opposite side of the center. Now what if the two parallel chords lie on the same side of the center? Again we will get the same case. Okay, let us draw. This is circle. O is the center of the circle. Now let us draw two parallel chords which lie on the same side of the center. Okay. This is AB and this is CD. Ready? These two chords are parallel to each other and they lie on the same side of the center. Now let us take their midpoints. M is the midpoint of AB. N is the midpoint of CD. If we join NM, okay? If we join MN or NN, okay? And produce like this, it will pass through the center. Here is the center. Okay, so remember the line joining the midpoints of two parallel chords, they may lie on the opposite side of the center, they may lie on the same side of the center. That line will pass through the center. Okay. Next is corollary 2. Corollary 2. When two equal chords intersect each other internally or externally. Okay, when two equal chords intersect each other internally or externally, their corresponding segments are equal. Okay, when two chords intersect each other internally or externally, their corresponding segments are equal. Now it is a bit difficult to understand. Only by drawing a diagram you can understand this. Okay, suppose we have a circle like this. Okay, here center is not important, just we need to draw two equal chords. Okay, remember this, two equal chords and they should intersect. Okay, suppose this is AB and I draw another chord which is equal to AB and it will be intersecting AB. Okay, this is CD. AB is equal to CD given. Let the point of intersection be P. Okay, if AB is equal to CD, then the corresponding segments will be equal. Now what is segment? I have given one definition of segment. Segment means the region bounded by a chord and an arc. Okay, now there is another meaning of segment. Now segment means part of a chord. Okay, segment means part of a chord. Now see, P is the point of intersection of the two chords AB and CD. So the segments of the two chords will be PA, PB, PC and PD. Okay, if you simply look at AB, the point of intersection is P, and the two segments are PA and PB. If you simply look at CD, the point of intersection is P, the two segments of chord CD are PC and PD. And according to this corollary, okay, this can be actually proved, but I am not proving. The segments will be equal in length. That means PA is equal to, here PA is equal to PD and PB is equal to PC. Okay, it is always not necessary that PA will always be equal to PD. Okay, it can be equal to PC also depending on the orientation of the two chords. Okay, so I can say PA is equal to PB, PC is equal to PB. So this is the case when the two chords are intersecting, two equal chords are intersecting each other internally. Now let us go for externally. Okay, let us go for external. Let us go for externally. Let us draw two equal chords which will not intersect each other internally, but if they are produced, then they will intersect each other. Okay, this is AB, this is CD. The two chords are equal. You can see they are not intersecting each other internally, but if we produce them, they will intersect each other. Okay. This is the point of intersection P, which lies outside the circle. It is an exterior point. Okay. Now let us see which are the segments. Okay. For the chord AB, which is the point of intersection? Point P. Always you have to start from the point of intersection to find the segments of a given chord. PA is one segment, PB is another segment. Many children think that AB is a segment. AB is not a segment, it is a chord. Okay, AB is a chord. Which are the segments then? PA and PB. Similarly, which will be the segments of chord CD, PC and PD. So always start from the point of intersection and move to the end points of the chord. Okay. So if AB is equal to CD, then PA is equal to PC and PB is equal to PB. So when two equal chords intersect each other internally or externally, the corresponding segments are equal in length. This is corollary number 2. Then the last corollary of this part, okay, last corollary, but it is important. Everything is important, okay, everything is important. Corollary number 3. Corollary number 3. When two circles intersect each other, the common chord, sorry, the central line is the perpendicular bisector of the common chord. So try to understand. When two circles, their radius may be same, may not be same. Means I am talking about equal or unequal circle. Doesn't matter here. Okay, the two circles may be equal, may not be equal. Doesn't matter. But if they intersect each other, then the central line. I'll explain what is central line. The central line is the perpendicular bisector of the common chord. Okay, so let us draw and understand. There is one circle. Okay, its center is suppose P. There is another circle which is intersecting this circle, or the two circles are intersecting each other. Okay, let center be Q. P is the center of the left circle or bigger circle. Q is the center of the right circle or the smaller circle. Okay, I have taken two unequal circles. Now we can see the two circles are intersecting each other at 2 points. Let the 2 points be A and B. You can see these are the 2 points of intersection. P and Q are the centers. If you join PQ, first let us join AB. Okay, first let us join AB. Okay, after joining AB, you can see this AB is chord to both the circles. If you neglect the right circle, this line segment AB is a chord for the left circle. If you neglect the left circle, if you don't see the left circle, then the line segment AB is a chord for the right circle. So you can say AB is the common chord. So we are interested in this chord AB. P and Q are centers now. If you join them, you'll get a line. Okay. Here we have got a line segment. But if you produce, okay, if you produce on both sides like this, both sides, then we'll get a line. Okay. This line is called central line. Okay, this line is called central line because it passes through the centers of both the circles. Okay, so PQ is the central line. Now, according to this corollary, this central line PQ this central line PQ is the perpendicular bisector of the common chord AB. Means it will be perpendicular first thing, then it will bisect AB. Bisect AB. So let this point be O. Okay, let this point be O. Point of intersection of the central line and the common chord. Let it be O. Okay. So what we will get? PQ is perpendicular to AB and OA is equal to OB. So remember this. If two circles may be equal, may not be equal, doesn't matter, intersect each other, okay, then the central line will be the perpendicular bisector of the common chord of those two circles. Okay. So these are the three corollaries and 5 theorems. I hope you have understood. Okay. So first revise this and digest of the theorems and corollaries, then we will move to problems. Thank you for watching.